guys, what's going on? Nick Swettenham here, that's NICKSWETTENHAM, and this is NST Wrestling with your Monday Night Raw review, coming live from Manchester, England this week, guys, so the flag's even more appropriate. We're going to be going through the matches and seeing where Raw was a yay or whether Raw was a nay. We kick things off with a Becky Lynch promo. She comes out to a great pop. This, of course, has been the year of the man. She comes out to a great pop over in Manchester, England. Comes out, cuts quite a serious promo addressing the Survivor Series situation between her, Shayna Baszler and Bayley. And then, of course, then tells us she's got a match tonight for the tag team title. She's going to be becoming Becky Two Belts again, which I find a little strange, and I'm going to address this more in a second. So Charlotte Flair comes out. And then we find out it's going to be Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair taking on the Kabuki Warriors for the Raw Women's Tag Team titles. Now, I don't know how this makes any sense unless we've all got amnesia. Last week, Charlotte and Natalya pinned the Kabuki Warriors. So you would have thought it would be Charlotte and Natalya going up for the tag team titles, if anything. Yet somehow Becky Lynch just all of a sudden put herself in this title picture and is now fighting the tag team champions. Honestly, guys, this gives... You know, okay, the match was good, but at the same time, it was absolutely ridiculous from a sort of coherent storyline point of view. There's no consistency here, and, you know, not a fan of this really whatsoever in terms of the storyline. What happened was Shayna Baszler came out, caused a distraction, and then Asuka got the pin on Becky Lynch. Now, I can only imagine, because this is going to set up Becky Lynch versus Asuka again, perhaps at the Royal Rumble or at the December TLC pay-per-view. But I was really not a fan of this storyline in general, and to be honest with you, it just annoyed me. Of course, Bayley came out as well. She then had a pop at Becky Lynch too, so showing a bit more dominance from Bayley, just coming out in street gear, which is pretty cool, rather than having her in any colourful outfits. You know, she's obviously turned proper heel now, so that gets Bayley a lot more involved in the storyline. We then cut to the back. We've got the OC talking with Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo. Now, I don't know what's happening with Randy Orton. It looks like there's a possible face turn for him. He's just signed a new contract, as we know, multi-year. He then cuts a promo. It's all quite funny. AJ Styles being funny as always, taking the mickey out of Ricochet being a superhero. And then of Randy Orton saying that, you know, he challenges them to a six-man tag team match tonight. So we're looking, that's going to be our main event. Personally, I wish they'd announced main events before the show to build up, but this is obviously our main event for tonight. Nothing special in terms of you know, excitement and anticipation for the match, but we shall see how the actual match is later on. We then had what we've sort of been needing for a little while, is a Drew McIntyre squash match versus Sin Cara. Of course, Sin Cara trying all the high flying, Drew overpowering him, getting the victory with a Claymore kick. Nothing too powerful here. I mean, Drew, they need to really do something with him, because I feel that even though he is, you know, potentially going to be one of the biggest stars on the roster, he's missing something with his character. He's still a little bit bland, and I think they need to really either step up the pace and just make him completely ruthless, or give him some kind of extra personality to get him over even more as a heel. 24/7 title time now, guys, and we had R-Truth coming out. I don't like it when R-Truth comes out personally. I don't like his music, never liked the What's Up thing, but hey, he's brilliant, so I can't knock him at all. Comes out to take on both Singh brothers in a handicap match for the 24/7 title. This then spews into the back. We've got Eric Rowan getting involved. A bit weird actually, because there was an Eric Rowan promo before where he's talking to, I don't know what he was saying. I really have no idea. It was a bit weird. I'd check it out, but it was very odd. And then Eric Rowan picks up the sofa, hits one of the Singh brothers with it. R-Truth then comes in and says about intruding on your privacy. So he turns the lights out, and all a bit odd, but R-Truth made it pretty funny as always. Seth Rollins then came out to once again a big pop. So Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins both very popular tonight. He comes out, talks about you know, how he wants to take on the, you know, he talks about Triple H, of course, and how Triple H was trying to get him to go back to his roots, a bit like with Finn Balor, but then he realised that Triple H was just out for himself and was obviously a snake, etc, etc. And then he says he wants to face some of the UK's best. So then that leaves an opportunity for Imperium to come out. All four members of Imperium come out, led by, of course, Volta. He comes out, the ring general, and then challenges Seth Rollins to a match. This match does carry on until we start getting some shenanigans. So Imperium interfere, and then the Street Profits come out, and then a great pop again, Kevin Owens, who hasn't been doing much on Raw recently, he comes out, interferes in the match as well, which sets up this 8-man tag team match. Now, I quite like this 8-man tag team match. The Montez dive over the top rope, you got to check that out. Looked like it could have been pretty painful because his feet landed on the table and then he kind of fell back onto the floor, but he seemed okay. He was doing this Ultimate Warrior rope grabbing for what seemed like about a minute at the end. It was decent, nothing much to really go with. Ron's got the pin over one of the members of Imperium, not Walter, so that kind of kept Walter strong. But you know, it made sense, you know, with the interference to have the 8-man tag team match and showcase the talent, but nothing special particularly in this match. Okay, now poor Cedric Alexander, he then got squashed again by this time Andrade. So this is the second week in a row he's lost. Andrade coming out, and I think this was a huge waste. They could have had a much longer match between these guys. If this was on NXT, they could have gone 15 minutes and had a real classic. Who's going to win with Andrade coming out on top. They made Cedric Alexander just look weak. You know, he tried to get some offense in, but Andrade, with help from Selena Vega, of course, so you can understand the quicker victory. But at the same time, come on, it's a lady getting involved in the man's match. How much damage can she really do? So he got the victory quite convincingly, and Cedric Alexander is essentially just getting jobbed out and squashed, which I don't mind him losing, but please give these guys an extra 5 or 10 minutes in the ring so they can actually give us a classic match. Another Alistair Black promo, and all he was doing was out in the back with wearing just regular clothes, obviously of course dark regular clothes, and saying how he speaks in prophecies, and he quoted something. I'm not going to quote the quote, but the gist of it was, "Someone pick a fight with me." So that's all I really have to say about that. But just kind of continuing Alistair Black to kind of challenge people essentially, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him. Personally, I think they need to get him on Raw Wrestling now and really start building him up on the main roster. We then had a nice little promo for the veterans, honouring, of course, this is Veterans Day, or Remembrance Day in the UK, honouring our veterans going from World War One all the way through up till present day. And of course, this is very nice. There's nothing bad to say about this at all. I support our veterans 100%, and hopefully you guys do too. Okay guys, this is the fun part of the day. Lana and Bobby Lashley looking like they're arguing backstage. Lana comes out to, I suppose she gets a decent reaction. She comes out to the ring, and she then, I'm going to read some of the stuff out. She says about how she's honest. She says she admits she cheated on Rusev, but Rusev cheated first. She then doesn't appreciate being judged by the audience, tells them to shut up, and tells them, of course, in Manchester they're all working class and poor. Sounds like our Liberal politicians, to be honest with you, but yes. She then talks about 7 weeks ago they first had sex, and it's their sex anniversary. They had beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sex, according to her, so 3 beautifuls there. This is really bad. And she was also getting annoyed about the crowd making fun of her falling over and putting it on Twitter, etc. This all, of course, leads up to her saying that she's 9 weeks pregnant, going back to the working class thing, saying that the working class people of Manchester can't do maths, and that means that Rusev is the father, and that he's impregnated her, and he's a sex addict. To when Rusev comes out, I mean, God, there's so much stuff to talk about here, really, but at the same time, I don't know if this is just so bad that it's good. I'm actually quite entertained by it because it's so bad. And Lana, to be fair to her, she's trying her best with this. It is awful, but at the same time, it's very Attitude Era, so I kind of like it at the same time. It's trash, but hell, we need a bit of trash TV, and I actually weirdly want to see where it goes. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's probably likely going to not go anywhere particularly interesting or intriguing. But hell, it does make me want to watch it, just for sheer comedy value on some of how badly the lines are delivered, and just, you know, what they're going to come out with next. The 7-week sex anniversary was actually quite a funny line. It was ridiculous. Guys, you know, what are you going to do? Bobby Lashley, of course, comes out, attacks Rusev, and then she then says she's not pregnant. So she was lying about that. I don't know why, just to get Bobby Lashley to come out and attack Rusev. I mean, I don't see the point of lying about it for 35 seconds and then Bobby Lashley comes out and beats him up. He could have just done that anyway. So they could have carried that storyline on for at least a few weeks and actually got some build up here and then she could have betrayed him again, maybe pretended she was going back with him because she was pregnant, and then Bobby Lashley then came out, and then they could have tricked him, but they decided to sort of ruin that one within about 30 seconds to a minute. Guys, this storyline, oh boy. We then had a semi-squash match between the Viking Raiders and Anders and Webster, who are the former NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Now look, the Viking Raiders, you knew were going to win this, but at the same time, they did give Anders and Webster a bit of offense, a lot of dives. I mean, there's quite a few dives in this match, probably a good 3 or 4, but it didn't last very long. Of course, the Viking Raiders got the Viking experience on them and got the pin. The Viking Raiders, I'm not going to lie, they do bore me a bit. I think they need some really good challenges and a really good match. They're starting to bore me, but at least this was a little better than the last couple of weeks. And our main event of the evening, guys, we've got this 6-man tag team match between Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo taking on the OC. Now look, the whole thing of this is, what's Randy Orton going to do? Obviously emphasising the fact he's a Viper. Is he going to switch on Ricochet, because there's obviously tension building up between the two, or is he going to stick to his team and do the right thing? So this match was decent. Obviously Ricochet, they tried to ground Ricochet quite a lot in this match, so there was a long point in the match where Ricochet was pretty much just being kind of kept grounded, so they couldn't make the tag. He finally did make the hot tags, Orton coming in, Humberto Carrillo coming in, doing their thing, and Orton looked like he was going to switch on Ricochet, but then he gave the RKO to AJ Styles. Humberto Carrillo got the tag, came in, did a great moonsault, and then got the victory. So, look guys, this match, the main event match was about 10 minutes long. Personally, it should have gone longer. It was okay, but there's no hype to the matches at the moment. No one, do I really care about a 6-man tag team match? And, or what's Randy Orton going to do? Well, looks like he might be turning face, probably is turning face, but, it's not that exciting, is it really? Let's be honest. Raw was okay. I've heard that the dark match afterwards was AJ Styles taking on, and the OC kind of taking on the Fiend. They didn't take him on in the match. The Fiend attacked AJ Styles and the OC, so we don't know why that is. Maybe just to send the crowd home happy, but it's looking more and more like, they're just trying to build up for Survivor Series, which is fine, and build up for these matches. But guys, we really want to start seeing some intriguing storylines here. This is, it is a soap opera, and we need to make it more like a soap opera. Right now, Randy Orton turning face for the 20th time is not the biggest deal in the world, and these tag team matches at Survivor Series, they don't usually mean much, especially when it's between the team members themselves, or who will be loyal to the team. We only had the draft about 2-3 weeks ago, so brand supremacy apart from NXT is no big deal between Raw and SmackDown at the moment. I would like them to start announcing these main event matches in advance. So, like, for example, tonight they could have announced, right, next week on Raw, Randy Orton's going to take on AJ Styles. Now, that match is a WrestleMania potentially match. That match is a pay-per-view match, 2 of the best in the business, and you could have that next week for Raw. Might build some actual intrigue, and I actually want to tune in next week. Right now, they are giving me stuff to tune in for. I do want to see what's going to happen with NXT, but at the same time, it's not must-see TV, and it hasn't really been, as we know, for quite a long time on wrestling, apart from the odd week or 2. But we shall see how we go, guys. I'm going to see what NXT's like, obviously, on Wednesday and the Wednesday Night Raw, and then going into Saturday with SmackDown, and just see how much more they can build up this Survivor Series, and if they can start, upping the intensity as such. Because right now they're just attacks, but I want to see some actual bit more violence. To be honest with you, some more tables, some more chairs, something a bit more extreme, where you feel like, guys, this is actually getting really brutal. Not quite to the level of the Jon Moxley Kenny Omega match, of course, but just something a little bit less PG, ideally. Okay, guys, thanks very much for watching. Please do comment below, let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on Thursday for the Wednesday Night War review.